Here, you're ready for your dose of reality.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the greatest show on the internet, the Dr. Quack Podcast. I'm your host, the important one, Mr. Mayhem.
And I'm Dr. Quack. We had a great show last night, didn't we?
Surprisingly enough.
Yes, it was amazing.
Because this show, watching it, the WWE obviously didn't care. And then all of a sudden they went, wow, it's Saturday. We got a show, a pay-per-view. I guess we got to take it seriously. And they actually did a good job.
They did. Let's bring on our analysts here as well. We've got John.
By the way, it was Sunday, not Saturday.
Close
no,
enough.
But Saturday they started looking at the watch for the Sunday pay-per-view.
He got a point for that. And speaking of points, here we go. Here is YKO.
All righty. So to go over really quick, just to let everybody know, coming out of the first one, the Professor Randy Hogan was at 3-3. Ed YKO was 6-1. I was 3-3. You were 5-2. Brandon Seeger didn't give us any selection, so he was 0-0. John was 4-2, and the Purge was 1-5. Justin Smith 1-5. So now let's see how we do coming into this.
Oh boy!
And the first one here, we started the show off after our 1 hour long tribute to nothingness. We had the women's triple threat match. Becky Lynch taking on Asuka, taking on Bianca Belair. So, Ed, what'd you think of that?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, if you're going to start off a pay-per-view and you want to bang, you might as well start off with these ladies. Because you had a match that went on, and every time you turned around, you didn't know who was going to be the winner. Asuka showed why she is the Empress of Tomorrow. Becky did show why she is the man. But at the end of the day, Bianca showed you why she is the EST. Because this time she showed you not only is she the strongest, but she is the smartest. By letting Becky do the work, throwing Becky out the ring and into 1, 2, 3.
All righty. And John?
I was quite happy with it. It was like I was not expecting the fact that you were gonna. I didn't think it was gonna be as good as it was. It did have me sitting at the edge of my chair, like, Asuka could win it, or Becky could steal it, or how it ended. It's like, okay, now is Bianca? Is this kind of a swerve to go for her to be like more of a heel, or is this or as Ed said, is this hey, she's also the smartest? And I thought it was an amazing match. I probably like it started great, it ended it ended awesome. So
All righty.
Yeah, I like the match. I'm personally happy Becky Lynch didn't win the title. Either Asuka or Bianca Belair is a smart choice. You could have ran the storyline either way. Good to keep it on Bianca until SummerSlam when she probably drops the title to somebody. It's going to happen.
All righty. And Randy Hogan chose Becky Lynch. Ed, you chose Bianca Belair. I chose Asuka. Dr. Quack chose Asuka. Seeger didn't give us a vote on this one. John chose Bianca Belair. The Purge took Bianca Belair. I like this match also. It was a decent match. It was a better opener than it should have been. The way they were telling this was not going to be a really good match, and they actually pulled out some really good spots here. I also agree. I think this might be the start of a heel turn for Bianca Belair. From the get-go, I've said if you're going to be the EST and that braggadocious about the smart S, the fast S, you ought to be the heel S. That is a heel gimmick. But it was still a good match. I still think Asuka should have won because they could have given her the turn for Bianca Belair. Yes.
Look, read his notes too now. Look, he couldn't be on here, but he will be.
Yep. But I think Asuka with the face win, and then Bianca could have had the turn, win the title right back the next show and start a heel run would have made more sense. But either way, good job, Bianca Belair. I went 3 stars on this match.
Okay.
All right. Say again? I heard something.
honestly, it was like the reason why I think she is actually going heel is because, okay, now you have a new big baby face that you're trying to build in Lacey Evans. Unless this whole baby face thing that she's doing is just a hey, look here, and then swerve it to the other side. But that's where I'm okay with Bianca winning if you're gonna sit here and try to make Lacey look even a bigger star, especially what's coming around the corner. It's July. Her whole thing right now is a military theme from her background. So why not sit here, Money in the Bank, 4th of July weekend, a heel Bianca Belair versus a returning babyface Lacey Evans. So
Well, they're on different shows right now, but that doesn't mean it couldn't change. Let's move on to the next match here. We'll start with you, John. Almost an MVP taking on Bobby Lashley.
this was my I fell asleep and luckily woke up at the very end of it. I was not a huge fan of this match. I'm tired of seeing the storyline. I asked for the storyline to end, and it just seems like the storyline is going to continue through Money in the Bank, because now it almost is one of the worst. Like, I understand the guy's 7 foot 8,000 feet tall, but he's a big guy. There's a lot of big guys like, say, Big Show, Braun, who are so much better. They could move around the ring. They could work. And Omos is not that. He needs to go down to NXT, let him sit in NXT and develop. But they just rushed him straight up because he's so tall. And the reason why is because Braun left. So I was not a huge fan of this. I'm glad it starts. I'm kind of feeling like they're going to, if they do get away with it, get away from the story, which is what I'm praying they do, they can either make Bobby the next person in line to go after Roman, or you could see Bobby in the Money in the Bank ladder match and Bobby win it. It's going to be very interesting to see. And yeah, I was not a fan of this. I hated it.
Don't develop river syndrome and ramble. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, this match was all right with me on the simple fact of I figured it was going to go this way. The right man got beat. We had MVP get put in the full Nelson. That was the right move. It didn't make Omos look weak. It didn't make Bobby look incredibly strong, but it worked for a match that passed for the second match of the night.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was okay match, nothing special. But I will say Corey Graves has a new nickname. That guy jumped back and forth between Omos is the best and Omos is garbage, that I'm calling him Waffle House from now on. Plus, when you're married to Carmella and you look at her at 3 a.m, I understand why he goes to Waffle House all the time. I went 2 stars, nothing great. Nobody won, nobody lost. Ed.
Well, this match was purely trash. All it proves is that you're no matter what you do, you're still having Bobby win. And if you didn't know that the outcome that was coming when you seen the backstage segment with Cedric Alexander, like if you didn't know he was about to come out and interfere and cost MVP the match, you had to be out of your mind.
Exactly. All right. And everybody took Bobby Lashley except Ed and John. You guys took Omos. So moving on to the next match here, Kevin Owens took on Ezekiel. And you get to start.
Oh boy, yeah, that was a really good match. I enjoyed it from the start. You know, when you had the close finish at the beginning, you thought it was going to be over in about 30 seconds when he hit that knee and dropped that elbow, but it came through. Kevin Owens looked really good in this. I was pretty happy with the match. I mean, this show here was what I call a fluff show. This is basically where you try to build it into a bigger show. And they told the stories and allowed some of these storylines to continue, and this was one of them.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good mid-card match. It was solid, right in the middle, right where it was supposed to be. It was a decent storytelling match. The only thing that concerns me is the very clean win Kevin Owens got over Ezekiel. We'll see what happens with it on Monday. But when you see a clean win like that on somebody that they've been playing a storyline like this, it concerns me they might be giving up a little bit early on Ezekiel. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens on Monday. But 2.5, good solid mid-card match. Ed.
You made a match where finally Kevin Owens get a win after a string of losses. Ezekiel, like you said, he looked strong early. I was laughing, because someone said, I like this guy. Put some tassels on him, make him look like the Ultimate Warrior. And for the whole match, that's all I seen was Warrior Jr. running around the ring. And Kevin Owens finally got a win without any help, any interference, which confused the hell out of me because he's supposed to be the bad guy, so he was supposed to cheat to win. But it happened. It's over. Thank God.
All right, John.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, Mayhem. I thought it was a good match. The fact of the clean finish, it's a little worrisome. The one difference is I would say is that it didn't make I almost said Elias. It didn't make Zeke look any weaker. I thought it actually made him look a little bit stronger in the fact that he held his own. It's just the savvy veteran pulled it out. But the whole clean finish aspect kind of threw me off. I was not expecting that.
All righty. And the only people that took Kevin Owens were me and John. Everybody else took Ezekiel on this one. So the next match here, the Judgment Day taking on AJ, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan. And I get to start this one. This was actually a good match. They did a smart thing, hiding Liv Morgan very well. She actually did show a little bit of improvement for the first time in 7 years since she was part of the Riot Squad. This is the first time she actually looked like she belonged in the ring. She still can't run. They need to hide that and make her be a ground-based worker. But the match was actually really, really good. It was a strong, good storytelling, keeping the build going, making Judgment Day competitive, making them look like they're a dominant force to be taken seriously. I went 3 1/4. I thought it was actually a really good match. I enjoyed it a lot. Ed.
Unfortunately, this is the only match I think of the entire pay-per-view that I missed. I actually fell asleep at the end of the KO match. So I missed that entire match. So I passed.
All right, John.
I I think me and Mayhem had a disagreement about it actually while the match was going on.
Yes.
I think
It's not.
I look at it as yeah, okay, yes, Trish Stratus at the beginning of her career. Yes, I know Liv Morgan's been in WWE on the main roster for about close to 6 years, but she has the vibes of a young version of Trish Stratus, and it's weird to me. But I could be insane because I she's really cute. I could say that. But I enjoyed the match. I obviously I did not get my extra bonus point prediction by saying AJ or Finn was going to turn. It's going to happen. I why not? Like I thought, why not Hell in the Cell? Where like make it a quick. Hey, you thought you had this to the fans, but nah, Edge could steal it. But it's gonna come. One of the two are gonna trade on the betray the other, and I'm gonna guess it is gonna be Finn, just based off of how this finished. Um, I also thought it was funny the fact that Rhea actually looked like she was wearing some high school goth students attire. So
All right.
Yeah, I wish this was an intergender match instead of a mixed tag because I would have loved to see Rhea Ripley just knock out Finn Balor. That would have been nice. Just a forearm to the face, something to give me some credibility because Liv Morgan, yes, she's a cute little thing, but she is not a great worker, and she sure as hell is not Trish Stratus. We will all agree on that. Yeah, the match was okay. It went through its course. Moving on.
And
I'll agree
everybody
to
took
disagree.
Judgment Day except for Brandon Seeger and the Purge. They took the Bullet Club, or this version incantation of what people want it to be as the Bullet Club, but it's not the Bullet Club.
Edge, grow your hair back, please. Please grow your hair back.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. He needs his long hair. Like him looking like he has like a mushroom top is not the look.
It's
I can't
Liv's
take him.
for
Annie Lennox with a beard at 50 years old is not a great look, is it?
Like,
Moving on to the next match, Ed, you get to start this one. The one that was announced after our prediction, so none of us got to predict on this one. Baron Corbin and Madcap Moss.
joke. All righty. A no holds barred match for Judgment Day. Madcap Moss with the new attitude, with the new look, no more suspenders, no more joking around, comes out to face the big bald wolf. And the match went back and forth. You had times that you thought Baron Corbin was going to win because after he hit that deep six, I thought the match should have been over. But Madcap said, nope, not today. So I actually enjoyed the match. You know, it was a nice back and forth. It didn't make Baron Corbin look weak. It gave Madcap a little more credibility. So I enjoyed it.
All right. John.
hey, Quack McMahon, is this Vince's new big guy? For Madcap Moss.
I don't know. He might be.
Yeah, it's it honestly after it was announced, once they said no holds barred, if you didn't think that this was gonna happen, then you obviously live under a rock. The really surprise out of it was the fact that it looks like they've written off Baron Corbin for a while to give him time off. Maybe he comes back as a babyface. I prefer him as a heel, but we'll see what happens. But it obviously looks like they've written him off for a bit, and they made Madcap look strong. And I'm very interested to see where they go with him because I think they got something. It's like Braun Breaker with NXT. They have something. It just hopefully their track record of wins and losses here.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Madcap Moss. He's going to be probably an Intercontinental or a United States champion, depending on the brand. But, do you see him as the face of a company? No, you probably see him as the guy that's going to be chasing the title and never get it. If he gets to that transitional championship spot, he might be there. But there's too many guys like Roman Reigns in there that's just going to keep the the title for himself. The guy's definitely got the eye of WWE for now. We'll see where he ends up in 6 months.
Yeah, I liked this. This was a classic 80s storytelling when you're putting an edge on a gimmick. This felt like a blow-off match, not so much of writing Baron Corbin off, but you have to have a winner and a loser of a feud, and this felt like they're ending the feud by letting, Madcap has proven he doesn't need Baron Corbin anymore. He's moving on to his next adventure, and Baron Corbin will do his next abomination, whatever he's going to do. All in all, I thought it was good, 2.5. Madcap still got to work on his footwork a little bit more. Yet smaller guys are probably going to run him ragged until he gets his footwork a little bit better, but it was a decent match. I went 2.5. So, John, you get Austin Theory versus Mustafa Ali.
Why did they not let Mustafa win? I thought it would have made him look bigger, but the problem is, for some reason, I totally forget that if you're in your hometown, unless you're CM Punk, you don't even really get the win in your hometown, especially in a pay-per-view event. Look at John Cena in Boston when it came to SummerSlam. He took an L. So it was a good match. I thought it was a good match overall. It made Ali look a little more credible, even though he did take the loss. But I would say 2.5 stars, 3.
All right.
You know there, John, I'm trying to figure out why they brought him back. I didn't ask for him to come back here. Was that Hunter? Look at my boy Austin Theory. He came out there and looked great. I'm telling you, we're going to take a picture later when we go out to Sizzler, I'm sure. They still got those, right? They still got Sizzler? I'm going to go 10 stars on this. This was great.
They have Sizzlers in the West Coast, Vince.
Oh,
they don't have them out all the way out in Chicago anymore.
We're going to get one there, pal.
They also don't have them in Greenwich.
All down with that. So this match, as John said, Ali's stock did go up on this one. He looked good. He looked strong against somebody they put a little bit of a rocket ship on, and he got to look good out there and look competitive. It was another good, strong mid-card match. It gave a little bit of credibility to the U.S. title, I think, showing that, Austin Theory actually can do some stuff with it and make some people look good. I enjoyed the match. You're right. A lot of times when you're in your hometown, you don't win very often. That's usually the way it goes, but you get to look good in your hometown, and Ali did. So I went 2 3/4 on that one. Ed?
Well, the match was looking good until you got no sell Theory.
You don't like my boy?
Man, the dude was just in the STF where his leg should have been crappy. But he pops up, jumps up, and is able to put somebody else's body weight on his shoulder, and his leg has no feeling.
That's actually very common in today's booking trainings. It's called 0 to 60. It's not just Austin Theory.
I know. I call it the Charlotte Flair syndrome.
But in kayfabe terms, it's called 0 to 60.
But of course, Vince's baby boy, his pet project had to win because it just wouldn't be right if I can't take a selfie. And I really think CM Punk Jr. Mustafa Ali was billed the loss just because he came out with the CM Punk look.
Alrighty, and
before we move on, the one thing I have to say about this is the fact that Austin Theory, I think he will not be a credible heel until he learns to be able to get the heat from the fans. He is not. To me, he has not done a great job of that. He's decent in the ring at times, but look at I'm comparing a generation talent to Austin Theory, but look at MJF. He doesn't have to do anything to get people to hate him.
I didn't realize Austin Theory was a generational talent.
You didn't know?
No, that's why I said I'm comparing him to it. But if Austin's supposed to be the next big heel, then he has to learn to be able to get a better heat. Edge has more heat on him than Austin does, and Austin's running around like he's Vince's boy, and he's supposed to have the most heat, and he's not doing a great job.
Vince's boy gets more heat. And I'm talking about Shane McMahon at 88 years old.
Okay, you're right. I'll give you that.
All right, so Randy Hogan and Ed and Villain took Mustafa, and John took Mustafa. Everybody else took Austin Theory. And now it's time for your favorite match, the main event of the evening.
Wait a minute. And I just want to know, did you look inside the booking that we did 20 years later now? Did you know that Shane McMahon's coming back at WrestleMania 60?
And he's going to do the triple jump moonsault off the Titantron to win the world title.
Oh, my God.
Off of Austin Theory.
Let me go into this, baby.
All right, so we got the Hell in a Cell match, Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes.
Yes, I'm going to tell you, the injury, it looked devastating. When he pulled that off, fans were looking at it. I looked at it from the before the match to after the match. And I looked at 2 photos. You can go look at them side by side. It looked like center here, where he got marked at. It looked like it went further in, like there was some sort of red dye right here where it was going. I'm sure there's an injury. Please don't get me wrong on that. I think they maked up it a little bit to make it look a little more devastating, which was good. What you need in the world, you need a little kayfabe there to make the fans all excited and get, oh my God, I can't believe he's in this match. But I'll tell you, my quack attack, that goes to Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins for 2 reasons. Well, actually, he's going to get a 2-finger salute as well. 2-finger salute for that opening wearing Dusty Rhodes' gear, but a quack attack because he actually took care of Cody Rhodes out there in the ring with this injury. I'm pretty sure it was devastating. I do expect him to be back sooner than what everybody's thinking with a full pectoral where he's going to be out for months. I don't see that. I see him being back within about 2 weeks or less. But I will go 3.5 stars on that.
All righty, and I'm not buying the conspiracy theory because where was the dye on the ring? There wasn't. Where was the dye on Seth Rollins? There wasn't. Where was the dye on the referee? There wasn't.
I don't know. It looked like it. It looked like it went further in.
It started here and it stayed here.
Like it was on this side of the nipple and then it went on this side of the nipple.
So I'm not buying that, but I'm buying Seth Rollins, even though Seth Rollins lost a little bit of credibility when he couldn't beat somebody with that devastating of an injury. If WWE wanted to really push that up and kayfabe the injury, they would just put kinesio tape on there and called it good. No, that was a legit injury. And they did a great job of working around that. It's proof positive that somebody can work around an injury. I've had to work around people's injuries, and I've worked with an injury. It's difficult to work around someone's injury and make a match this credible. I went 4 stars just because of how good a job Seth Rollins did, even though he should have won this match. And they could have had the feel-good moment at the end of Cody Rhodes standing up and let the crowd applaud for him like that player who got hurt and stands up and walks off the field at the end. That would have been just as great, and they could have carried this on longer. I think it hurt Seth Rollins a little bit to lose to a guy with that bad of an injury. Ed.
All right, a couple of things here. We're going to start off with Seth Rollins catching every finishing move known to man.
Even a Cody cutter.
I think it was awesome. He caught a Cody cutter. He caught a couple of see you in the crossroads. Caught a pedigree, sledgehammer to the face. But the one thing that everybody should know is Seth Rollins is and whenever he steals a gimmick with his look. Let's come out dressed as the Shield. Hi, Roman. Oops, I lost. Let's come out looking like Dusty. Hi, Cody. Oops, I lost. So the match was awesome. I love seeing everything. Chicago got what they wanted. They got tables. That's the only thing they cared about the whole night was tables. Every match they asked for tables. So when they finally got the tables, they were happy. The only problem I had is the only part of the pre-show I caught was the very end when they were talking about this match. When King basically told you exactly what's going to happen. He gave an example where a guy that he was fighting right before the match, went and did some pull-ups, and he tore his bicep. And everybody told him to stay out the ring, don't come to the ring. What'd he do? He went to the ring and he beat King from pillar to post and won the match. So what does Cody do? Comes out, fights, and he wins. Thanks, King, for ruining the match. I would have gave it a 4-star, but I had to give it 3.5 thanks to Jerry the Queen Lawler.
All right, John.
Take us home.
So with this match, I actually was doing more research on the injury and stuff like that, and with everybody in Heart and Soul, I shared it. It's you could tell it's real. Whether it was spoofed up a little bit more,
That's
we
what
don't
I think.
we don't know. I actually do agree with Mayhem. If it was spoofed up more, whatever they did not come off on the ring, didn't come off on Seth, it didn't come off on the ref. It was done perfectly then, but I don't think it was. You can also go back and look at when Triple H tore his pec and the bruising around the way that looked, it was practically about the same. So the gotta give I gotta give them, to me, the reason why I'm going to give this a 5-star is because of having to work around that injury, not knowing what to expect to begin with.
We
And
got Dave Meltzer on screen. Holy shit. Hi, Dave.
no, I would be saying AEW's product is 5 stars if I was Dave. But I have to applaud them for what they did. They were able to do everything. They brought back the bull rope. I thought
Cowbell, baby. Cowbell.
if they were going to push this another match, I was waiting for the Texas bull rope match, a match that Dusty helped make famous. And also, by the way, Quack, I was kind of worried that we didn't have a 2-finger salute in the show at all, and we finally got it at the end.
That was for Dusty's outfit there about Seth Rollins.
I thought that was funny because, again, just like going back to Austin Theory, Seth, he's getting heat just by wearing having a tire on of somebody. He's getting heat. Also the fact that Seth hasn't won a match since last year. So great match. To me, it's 5 stars just based off the situation, understanding they had to change everything around.
All righty. And for the bonus points, the only person that got the bonus point was Ed Lindsay saying no 24/7. He stole your gimmick.
Hey, that's fine. It worked for you. Good job.
So at the end of the show, Randy Hogan went 3-3. Ed Lindsay went 4-3 with the extra point. I went 4-2. You went 3-3. Brandon Seeger 1-1. John went 4-2, and Purge went. Justin Smith went 3-3. So all in all, going into Money in the Bank, Randy Hogan at 6-6. Ed leading the way 10-4.
Woo! Good job.
I'm at 7-5. You're at 8-5.
Yeah.
Seeger's 1-1. John, you're at 8-4, and Justin Smith 4-8.
So does that mean
everybody?
So does that mean I'm above Quack on that then because of the one less loss?
Yes, you would actually be ahead of him because of one.
Don't worry, it's going to change next one because next show is Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Money.
We got Mr. Jordan Drake here. Let's see. Big match, John.
Speaking of that, I think Cody, they're gonna hold him off now. Like they'll have him on screen, but I think they hold him off till the Royal Rumble. Have him do the John Cena spot where he comes back in the Rumble and actually wins it.
Okay. All right. So that takes us through this show. So any last final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts. Let's start with Ed here. What do you think is going to happen tonight?
Let's see. You're going to get 2 crybabies. Of course, they're married. That would be Seth and Becky. Of course, they're both going to cry. You're going to have the Street Profits come out calling out the New Day. I mean, not the New Day. The Bloodline, the Usos. Yeah, that's the name of them girls. Saying that they should be next in line to get the tag titles. and maybe we could get like, I'm sorry, did you not notice that the biggest title on the show was the United States title? When have we ever had the United States title defended on a pay-per-view?
Last WrestleMania, like 2 WrestleManias ago.
Yeah. See what happened when your tribal queef takes show off?
Yeah.
You got to make Austin Theory the biggest match. Oh, second biggest match.
Third biggest match.
John?
Well, we know the biggest match was the first match.
Yeah, I was gonna say the triple threat was. No, I don't know honestly what to expect. Obviously, Cody's gonna come out talk about the injury. I could see where Ed is talking about with the tag stuff. But I don't know. It honestly is showing that WWE really hasn't lately cared about the build up to a pay-per-view unless it's one of their major core pay-per-views. So if they are really now counting Money in the Bank as one of their core pay-per-views, it will be very interesting to see what they do. And I think in the next 2 weeks you're going to start seeing announcements of qualifications for the Money in the Bank. Actually, within the next week.
It's going to start tonight.
It'll probably start tonight, where I guarantee. I won't put a guarantee to it, but I'll say Bobby Lashley will have will be one of the first entrants into the Money in the Bank.
I think there's a possibility we might see the Fiend come out here tonight. There has been rumors circulating all day. I think if there is something seriously wrong with Cody Rhodes, or for maybe lasting a month or two, that they might be bringing him in just to cover somebody there, because you need a big star to replace a big star. That's something I do think could happen.
And I do want to find out if Nakamura's X sign was a kayfabe or was a legit.
That's a big one too.
Because that match was going good, and all of a sudden we get an X sign and a couple of trainers come out, but they stayed on it longer than normal, which makes me think it might have been a kayfabe X sign. But we'll find out.
That's right. Well, that's the end of our show. I'm Dr. Quack.
I'm the important one, Mr. Mayhem. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, John. All right, we'll see you at the next review.